So today I'm going to talk about the power of walking away from a deal. You're going to love today's episode because it's going to put a lot of money in your pocket and also make this business a lot more fun. But before I jump into today's show, if you have not been over to nextlevelwholesaling.com, I have a gift for you, and that is the Next Level Wholesaling Assessment. If you want a big, profitable business that puts off cash month after month after month, without your personal day-to-day involvement, you got to take the Next Level Wholesaling Assessment. When I say a big, profitable business, you don't need a lot of people to make a lot of money. I'm talking big, fat, juicy wholesale deals that have fat margins that enable you to have a lot of fun in your business and work less and struggle a lot less on the telephone. So go to nextlevelwholesaling.com, take the assessment, and let me know your score, right? Hit me up at Todd Toback and let me know how you did. I'd love to hear from you because your business is about to get to the next level. All right, so let's talk about the power of walking away. So one of my favorite deals ever, I want to share a story, and I've told this scenario many times, was a deal that we bought for a very low price, and we sold it for about an $80,000 profit. And I'll tell you the story. This deal was in Victorville, California, and it was a gnarly probate deal. They were family members who were living with squatters. One of the family members was squatters living in the property with no electricity, no water. And in Victorville in the summer, it is like really hot. It's above 100 degrees. And so this was gnarly. And so before taking on this probate deal, I knew it was going to be a little bit of time and a little bit of money. And I knew that we could probably sell the property for like $80,000 after we were done, maybe 90. And so what happened was I just knew that this was going to be a lot of work, and I did not want to take on the deal unless I knew there was a significant dollar amount at the end. And so initially, I had offered the seller, I think it was like $5,000 or $8,000 for the property, because again, I knew I could sell it for 70 or 80, maybe 90. And the seller said that they wanted $50,000, and I said, no, this is not worth my time. And so, actually, they may have even started at even more. I think they may have even started out at like 70 or 80. There's like $10,000 meat on this thing. And so originally I just said, no, I can't do it. Right now, every part of me wanted to say yes, right? I wanted to make that $20,000. I had an acquisition. When I say me, I mean me and my team. We had an acquisition specialist who was negotiating the deal. And I know that they wanted to say yes. And I said, no, too much work, too much hassle. We need to be doing big, fat, juicy deals. And so, by the way, this acquisition specialist, they really wanted to make $15,000 this month. Okay. And so at that point, obviously we backtracked it, and this is how we were going to get them there. They had another deal closing, but this was part of that, making them their $15,000 in commissions. Long story short, we stood firm to our $10,000 offer, got it under contract, we sold it, and we made $70,000 or $80,000. I don't have those numbers exact. By the way, maybe on another show, I'll have the exact numbers, but it was like a $70,000 or $80,000 profit, and that was one of my favorite real estate deals because we were willing to walk away from the deal. Very powerful, okay? So one of the things I talk a lot about on this podcast is deal size is everything. Okay, I'm going to go back to the power of walking away. Deal size is everything. Deal size is everything. Deal size is everything. I want you to repeat that mantra, because the guy or gal who does $20,000 wholesale deals and the competitor who does $50,000 deals in the same market, same marketing budget, is going to smoke. The gal who's doing the bigger deals is going to smoke the person doing $20,000 deals. Why? Let's pretend for a second that you have to spend $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 to make 20. Okay, it's very common for people to spend $6,000 to make 20 grand. And for me in this business, that is absolutely too skinny. Why? Okay, let's pretend like you are spending that 6 or 7 grand and you make the 20, great, you made $13,000. You've got people to pay, you've got overhead if you got an office, maybe you have an executive assistant, Maybe you have more marketing coming up, right? You have, computer softwares. I mean, there's a lot, right? And so at the end of the day, that $13,000 deal is not that much. Let's pretend like all of a sudden the same person does $50,000 deal. That's 30 grand. But what they do is they are able to walk away. They're able to negotiate better. They're able to offer a little bit more value. And so now that person has a $44,000 profit. So the difference between those two things are absolutely staggering, right? Someone who has a $43,000 profit versus someone who has a $13,000 profit. Number one, their marketing budget, right, just smoked you, right? So now they could take, 15, 16, 17% of that budget, right? Now they could spend $7,000, $8,000, even $9,000, maybe even $10,000 on their next months of marketing, while you have your $13,000, right? You got to live off that, right? How much do you want to reinvest back in your business? So now you invest $5,000 back into the business. Now you only have $8,000 to live on. Where's the savings, right? You are getting killed. Now this other person is running circles around you, and now they keep on turning that $1 into $5, $1 into $5, $1 into $5, and they keep doing it because they have cushion and they have cash flow. They got margin. And I'm telling you, that makes a very, very, very big difference. Assume that you're only doing 20 deals. Now, do the math here. Is if you do 20 deals at $50,000 a piece, you're looking at $1 million a year. Let's say that you're able to do 10 more deals, but you only do deals at $20,000. Okay, you do 10 more deals. So let's say you do 30 total, and now you do them at $20,000. That's $600,000. So you worked 50% more, but you made a little more than half. Man, I got to tell you, that sucks. Okay, so big fat juicy deals is the name of the game. By the way, if you have not invested in the no limit selling system, what are you waiting for? This is my system that I've used to train dozens of acquisition specialists from having no experience in the industry to become absolute savages on the telephone, doing big fat juicy deals. I've trained the nation's best acquisition specialist. Anybody who's making money in this business has trained with the no limit selling system. The price is embarrassingly low. So go ahead and check that out. It'll teach you to do big, fat, juicy deals on less of a marketing budget and have a lot more fun. Compress those timelines so you can get paid faster. NoLimitSalesSystem.com. All right. So why don't people do bigger deals? Well, the first excuse that I hear is, Todd, I can't do those types of deals in my market. Okay. And the only thing that I hear is, no, you haven't walked away from crappy deals in your market. You're going to hear some foreshadowing here, okay, in this podcast. And so the words I can't do 20 or 30K deal, $1,000 deals in this market is just not true, right? I did a 7-year, $80,000 deal on a house that was worth about 80, 90 grand. Okay. So if I can do it, you can do it. Okay. If I can do it in that market, and this was like just a crappy house. And so that's just a misnomer. And the reason why you have not done it is you have not convinced yourself that you are worth it, that you bring enough value, and that you have never been able to walk away from a 10K deal, right? I had a couple of joint venture partners in one of our markets, and they had like 23 deals, okay, 23 deals. And we looked at it, and this is going to be crazy, but like 15 out of the 23 deals were for less than $8,000. And we're looking, and the time to get these to closing were just astronomical, right? And the rest of the deals, right, the 7 of the deals were $20,000, $30,000 deals, which were much better. And so they're like, oh, well, and I'm like, get rid of these deals. And they're like, what do you mean get rid of these deals? I'm like, get rid of them, cancel them. And they're like, well, the sellers, and well, at first I said, get reductions. And they're like, the sellers will not give us reductions. This is the lowest that we could go. I said, okay. I said, if they don't go lower so that we can make at least 30 grand per deal. Okay. And my goal is 50, but I was being generous here. If you can't make 30, then I want you to walk away. Right. And they were like really stressing out. And I was like, do it. So if you add up all the numbers here, right, like $13,000 and the average deal size, and this is rough, was about $5,000, right? So if you go 15, 30, 45, 60, 70. So let's just say there was about $70,000 here on the board, okay, of work. But I'm telling you right now, this was just a lot of work. And there was no guarantees that some of these were even getting to the closing table. They came back to me 2 weeks later. Okay, and out of the 13 deals that they had let go, you ready for this? 8 of them. 8 of them. Okay, and out of the 5, all 5 that they kept, they renegotiated so that they can make $30,000. So remember how I said they had 60 or 70 that in total, right? Well, now they had $150,000 on the board, right? Just with 5 deals. So they had basically 3 times as much profit by walking away from the deals, because they told the sellers, if I can't get a reduction to the price that we need, I am walking. So this is the walk away power. They told me that they couldn't renegotiate any of these deals, but because they weren't willing to walk away, they did not have that strength and power and confidence. And so when they finally had that strength and power and confidence, said, I am walking away from this, right? Really had to push them. Okay, that's when they broke the barrier and got to $150,000. Okay, by the way, this was one of their first 6-figure months. That is the difference. So enabling you to do that, right, enables you to spend like a boss, okay? When you're doing big, fat, juicy deals and you're willing to walk away, right, it gives you confidence. Now, I'm going to tell you this, is that when you're doing big, fat, juicy deals, you have big, fat marketing budgets, you can reinvest in your company, you have a lot of leads. And so when you have a lot of leads, you feel good about walking away from crappy deals. So if you're not marketing hard enough, if you're being a pansy with your marketing, right, a dribble here, dribble there, expecting all to come, yeah, of course you're going to want to hold on to that tiny little deal. That sucks, right? So I'm going to tell you something that a lot of people aren't going to like to hear, okay? You're going to have to spend like a boss. Turn $1 into 5, okay? Are you totally broke? Get a second job, donate plasma, okay? Get a partner who maybe invest in your business for a year and give them a return on their money for 1 year. I don't care, but you got to invest like a boss, because you got to have leads. And when you got leads, okay, you can walk away from crappy deals because you know the next one is right around the corner. Now, by the way, I talk a lot about this, my no limit selling system. You need to invest in that, nolimitsalessystem.com. But also leads. Let's talk leads for a second. One of my favorite ways to get leads right now is fastsellerleads.com. If you want to get like leads today, just log on and check out fastsellerleads.com. You pick your county, right? You say how much you want to pay per lead, and you bid on your county on saying how much you want to pay per lead, and they will send you leads from your market, okay? You're going to find that on the best end, you're going to maybe close 1 out of 8. In really, really tough markets, you may need to get 35 leads to make this happen, but it sure beats cold calling or direct mail, okay? I love fastsellerleads.com. Check it out. All right, so let me give you one more technique, or 2 more comments here. And one of the ways that you can walk away from a deal from without walking away from the deal is that you've got to show that you're willing to walk away. And so the first thing, that if you know you're not going to get your price, you know you're not going to be able to do it, I would just tell the seller, hey, you know what? I totally get it. Maybe you want to list the real estate agent. If you want, I can refer you, and take off all the pressure. And then you want to spend the next hour to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if you're in person. If you have an acquisition specialist, make sure they do this, and build rapport. Talk about nothing to do with the house, right? Talk about family, talk about trips. You want to future pace them. Say, hey, when you sell the house with an agent, what are you going to do? What's next, right? What does the next phase of your life look like? And future pace them on getting the deal done, right? And just be their friend. And so as you give up, they look like, right? They are assuming that you have given up. You've taken off all the pressure. So as you are walking out the door, right? An hour should have gone by then, and say, hey, I totally get it. Hey, I'm just curious, by the way, like, what would have gotten the deal done? You know, I mean, I know that you're going to go a different direction, but actually, like what was the biggest scenario? And maybe they're like, look, if you could just come up $5,000, maybe you can get your number if you just have to come up 5, right? So you want to disarm them a little bit, give up, show that you've given up, but at the end of the say, hey, what, and I know we decided not to do business, but what would have gotten the deal done, right? What was the biggest hang up there? And maybe they'll tell you, maybe they won't, but the give up is very, 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 very powerful. All right, so let's talk about the small deals for a second and why walking away is just really, really powerful. The small deals are the hardest. The sellers who will not negotiate and come down on price, a lot of times they're not that motivated. So they will kick and scream and punch and scratch and yell all the way to the closing table. And this is no fun. You don't want to do business with these people, right? You're not even offering that much value to them, right? So you want to get paid for bringing a lot of value. So walk away from the small deals. The difficult sellers who are just being really, really difficult, I have found those to be the smallest margin deals. And so when you walk away from those, right, then you're going to save yourself a bunch of time. But some of those sellers are actually more motivated than you think. And then when you walk away, the power of walking away, they will come down on price to where you need them. So a quick summary. Number one, deal size is everything. Run those numbers I was talking about. Number two, don't tell me you can't in your market. If I did it in a market that I basically sold a $80,000, $90,000 house after buying it for 10, you can do it also. You have to be willing to walk away. The reason why you can't do 10K deals, the reason why you can't do $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 deals is that you've never walked away from a 10K deal. Facts are facts. Leads, you need leads. Okay, you need confidence. Leads equals confidence because you got the deal right behind. Check out fastsellerleads.com, right? Lots of other good lead sources out there. There's direct mail, which is one of my favorite. There's referral, influencer marketing. Love those things. Don't forget about the give up, right? You can give up on the close. You can spend time, build rapport with the seller, make a friend. As you're about to walk out the door, just casually ask them what would have gotten the deal done. And the last, remember, the small deals are the hardest. The ones that you do lose, do not despair, okay? You saved yourself time, energy, heartache, right? And most of all, by walking away, you're going to put more money in your pocket. Don't forget to check out nextlevelwholesaling.com, and I will talk to you on the next episode.